Hey, everybody, Jim Cummings here. And if Tigger were here, he'd say, thanks, everybody, for bouncing on in here and enjoying the show. But before we go, I want you to do me a small favor. Hit like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. Now, speaking of enjoying the show, enjoy the show. Welcome back. We're back.
Yes, we are. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. I'm producer Chris, joined as always by the legend himself, Mr. Jim Cummings. How are you doing today, sir?
It's another day in paradise and made even better. You're never going to guess who we have here today, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead, you take it. I'm giving you the drums.
Susan Egan!
Come on down!
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks
I love
for
your
being
living
here.
room.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yes. I'll have to bring bongos next time because it's not as good. Anyway, but thanks for being here, buddy. Yay.
It's so much fun to be here. Really
Yes.
flattered that you asked, so thank you.
Well, we're flattered that you said yes.
Yay!
Yes, this is great. And you're a busy person these days. She came in her I guess those are rehearsal.
Yeah, my
togs.
rehearsal clothes. Yes, so I was down in Culver City at a dance studio today, working with our two choreographers for a show that I produced for Disney concerts called Disney 80s 90s Celebration in Concert.
Yes, could we get you to tell us about it?
Yeah. So I have a company called 10th and Main with my partner Adam Levy, and we co-produce a bunch of stuff with Disney concerts. Absolutely love our work husbands over at Disney concerts. And we've done a couple shows at the Bowl. This one was at the Bowl last year. This one's a really fun one to be a part of because Disney 80s 90s. I was a full-on adult in the 80s, 90s.
You too, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I was an even older adult.
But I am working with millennials, and those were the decades, as you know. I mean, your fandom from these decades.
Oh, yeah.
You know, these were the kids that, Be Kind, Rewind, those VHS tape days.
Oh, yes.
And then,
God,
and then we got to the
I worked at a video
DVDs.
store. I know that very well.
Long before we had streaming capabilities. These were those kids, and I think what's wonderful is that they never outgrew Disney. They just grew up.
Yeah.
And so these concerts, they're definitely family friendly, Disney 80s, 90s, because all the new kids still love The Little Mermaid and Aladdin and Goofy movie.
Absolutely. Well, I think
But you get to share with it.
Disney generation is every several years because we got a whole fresh batch of 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds. I say it's certainly about Winnie the Pooh,
For sure.
We're making fresh 3-year-olds all the time.
It's true. It turns around. It just keeps regenerating, which is great.
Yeah.
This one's fun because, all these millennials have, kids now, and they get to share it with their kids and share it with their parents who had to listen to those VHS tape days. And then there's like the element, do you experience this with the Disney adults who come Disney bounding, wearing something? I tried to Disney bound a little bit today in some Meg colors,
Okay.
But,
I can
they
see
come, maybe wearing, for you, they'd wear a little like yellow pants and a red vest, to like a little bit of Pooh there. But
the most interesting version of that, in fact, I think you were there, Christopher, years ago at Disney, and these 4 people were standing outside of the what was it, D23? It was Club 33. And they were standing there and they were trying to be conspicuously inconspicuous. And it would appear that Mr. Cummings is here, and imagine that. And I went, okay. And there's a guy and he's got he is a rather portly fellow, and he's got glasses that are like this, and they had a bit of a mustache, and I said, you remind me something. He goes, who might it be? And they were dressed as Piglet, but bounding. Disney bounding.
Disney bounding.
Piglet, Tigger, remember that? And there was someone there that was Tigger.
Oh my gosh.
They were easier to spot.
Sure.
Because and then the Pooh person had a very nice tummy and had a smack roll or two at the ready.
I love it.
And it just cracked me up. So Disney bounders, wherever you are,
we love you.
We love you guys.
We live for you, and they're so creative and just embrace all the qualities of these characters. I love it.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to me till right now. My brother-in-law Todd Hartman, I'm married to Robert Hartman. Todd Hartman, he was Tigger in the parks in the 70s.
No way.
And he's like a Tigger personality in real life. He definitely bounces everywhere he goes. Yeah.
Well, tell him I said, how you doing there, buddy boy?
For sure will. Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. Well, we have branches and franchises everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a Tigger, but I'm the only one. You knew I had to do that. Sorry.
The
all right.
only one.
I got it out of me. Okay, we can move forward now. That's so cool that you're here. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. And you keep busy.
Yes. So it's
right. I mean,
it's been fun. So what I celebrated 31 years this year with Disney. Beauty and the Beast opened in 1994.
Oofta.
I would like to add that my business partner was born 10 days after I opened in Beauty and the Beast in 94.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there.
Truly surrounded by millennials, which I love. They keep me young and they explain my texts. That's right. I'm like, I don't know what this acronym it means. IRL in real life. So 31 years. And then I got to do some animation and done things, all over the Disney company, but really, really lucky that they've entrusted me to sort of be behind the scenes now and write and produce for them. And
that's so cool.
And then, get to hire the next generation of people. And those are the people that did it for me. Our good friend Jodie Benson, she's like a sister to me. And when I first entered into this foray, she really helped guide me. And so it's a lot of fun to do that for the next generation, sort of pass the torch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so great. And you come from theater.
I do.
So. Yeah,
Broadway was the thing. And you think about it, you look back, you're like, oh my gosh, I was so lucky, and I was called back to a couple different shows in this one week and Beauty and the Beast was just one of them, but Disney had never done Broadway, and people were like, Disney's on Broadway. Now it seems like a foregone conclusion, obviously, because there's so much source material to make musicals. But at the time, they had never done anything, and nobody had ever taken a cartoon and made it into a stage show. Nobody had done that before. That seemed like weird at the time. Also, that particular musical, like, what are you going to do with a candlestick and a clock and a teapot? How are you going to do that? Because they're supposed to be this big. And so anyway, so it wasn't a sure thing, and it wasn't a sure hit. And I had another show I was called back for, and I really thought I was going to do that one. And the truth is that the Beauty and the Beast callback was on a Tuesday, and that one was on a Thursday. And if it had been the other way around, my life would be totally different. Maybe I wouldn't have gotten either job, but just the fact that I tripped over this opportunity, and then like you're always a member of the family. You never get out. No, I don't want to get out. That's right. But you are part of this Disney family that really is tight.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's a certain camaraderie there, and you're protective of it, aren't you?
Yeah.
You don't want anybody to, hey, easy. It's I feel that way about Tigger and Pooh and any character that I have. Yeah.
Of course. And then there's something about this particular company of just that fandom where you meet people, and it's a love on another level. If you're, I've done stuff for other, Cartoon Network and other things too, and they're great. Me too, yeah. But it's not the same. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
To be part of something Disney is to be part of something that is timeless, that will last far beyond you.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I remember there's a ancient picture of me. They took me over to Sears Roebuck. I was about 2 years old. Sears Roebuck. And other people in my age group will go, let me guess. They put you on that thing and they took the picture. And I'm sitting there, with my little face hanging out. And I got my Mickey Mouse shirt on, Mickey Mouse Club. And it was like, I just was in heaven. I just thought that was the greatest thing in the world. And it was Swamp Fox was on, then Zorro, then I think Mickey Mouse Club on Sunday nights and on Channel 27. And isn't
that funny? I can't remember anybody's phone number, but I still remember like the channel. For me, it was Channel 13. But yeah.
There you go. Uh-huh. Yeah, and that was my connection.
Yeah.
And I never in a million. Well, actually, I kind of thought I would start doing this when I was about 5, but Yeah, at the time, because I was only 2, I was very young when I was 2, and so very immature. But I kind of knew that I was going to do this. And I'm wondering, was it that way for you?
So funny. So I started out actually figure skating, and I don't know why I tripped.
What are the
actually,
odds?
I do know why.
I didn't.
The Donnie and
also.
Marie show. They always started out on ice skates, and I'm like, I want to do that, and so. I'm from Southern California.
They
I'm
were
from
from
here.
ice skates?
They started every show on ice skates on an ice rink. And I met Donnie, I don't know, like 10 years ago now. I go, I started figure skating because of your show.
Me
At
too.
D23. We probably met him at the same time.
Yes. Oh my God, that's hysterical.
And
let's get down to business.
Totally.
Yeah.
And defeat the Huns. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
So funny. We just rehearsed that today, actually.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we did.
You're kidding.
Yeah. It's in our show. It's very, Mulan. She's a 90s
true.
girl. She's a 90s girl. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Wow.
So anyway, I started ice skating, but the rink was like 40 minutes away from our house. And so to kill time, my mom and I, supportive, beautiful mother, we would listen to musicals on the way down there. And, I'd memorized all these different musicals. And when competing didn't seem like it would be the right thing for me, ultimately, I had all this ballet in my background from skating. And so I stopped and I had all this time on my hands. But I knew all these musicals. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll try out for the school musical. And so that did it. That was in middle school. And then I went to the Orange County School of the Arts, which was an arts magnet school down in Orange County. And it's
Tustin, Newport Beach?
Yeah, it is. It was in Los Alamitos, but now it's in Santa Ana. Big, huge campus. I mean, it's much bigger now than it was when I was there. But it's a fantastic school. And yeah, but also simultaneously grew up in Seal Beach, 15 minutes from Anaheim, and would go to the parks.
Sure.
Back when you had to rip tickets out, the e-tickets.
Yes, that's right.
Way back in the day.
Nobody understands. They don't
Nobody
know what
knows
an
what we're talking
e-ticket
about.
is nowadays.
It's like we're
It's
speaking Chinese.
Yeah.
And so I had this love of Disney as well. And it just sort of, I lucked out that, out of college, I got cast in a national tour of a show called Bye Bye Birdie with Tommy Toon. And Tommy said, LA's never going to know what to do with you. Musicals weren't cool again yet. High school, Disney actually did it with High School Musical.
Yeah.
And then, like Chicago, the movie, and musicals became cool again. But in the early 90s, it wasn't. You kind of hid musical theater at the bottom of your resume if you were an actor. In LA,
okay.
if you did theater, you would kind of ignore that.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow,
Broadway
that's
wasn't
interesting.
cool yet, again. And so Tommy talked me into moving to New York.
Yeah.
And I auditioned for Beauty and the Beast. Like
And the
I
rest
literally
is-
won the lottery. Yeah.
Boy,
and I
no
did
kidding.
Beauty
Yeah.
for 2.5 years. I did it for the first year in New York. We did 6 months before New York, then New York, and then we came out here to the now gone Schubert Theater.
Yes.
But at the Schubert Theater
Yeah.
here, and I did it for another year here. And,
kidding. Wow.
And just loved it. And that was when I auditioned for Meg in Hercules.
I'm sure I saw you.
Maybe, yeah. If you
Yeah.
saw Tom Bosley, most people would remember seeing Tom Bosley as Maurice because he's Mr. Cunningham.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you saw it the first year in New York or the first year in LA, that would have been me.
Yeah. Wow.
Isn't that funny?
We've known each other a long time.
So long.
I remember you were.
Of course,
you
everybody
were,
looks same in that blue dress. So,
Wait, you were sick. Wait a minute. I recognize you now, Missy. Yeah, I know. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was
what a cool
really,
thing.
really, really cool. And but the irony, of course, is that I wanted to audition for Hercules, and they wouldn't
Well,
let me.
you would have been terrible as Hercules.
I don't
you would
know.
have made the worst
I've been really,
Hercules
I've
ever.
got biceps now, Jim.
I might have even been better than you. Not by much.
But they wouldn't let me audition because Meg is such kind of a tough cookie, and Belle is so kind, and I guess.
Well,
I guess what they learned was that I was acting as Belle, and like I'm definitely Meg in real life. So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it was so
That is cool.
amazing.
That must have been a
is
crazy
cool.
feeling at that time. Like you must have felt like you were
Oh
on
my
top
gosh.
of the world.
Yes, but I don't think a lot of people, and you've, I'm sure, talked about it on your podcast with people, but it's a weird audition situation where you go into a room. In this case, it was a dance studio in New York City with like traffic noise and had a microphone, and they taped you on a cassette tape, Chris. Cassette tape.
Yes.
And
I've
and they all put their heads
I've been
down,
on
and they're
those.
looking at a picture of the character. They're not looking at you. And then I did my reading.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about Meg
Yeah.
is that she was written to be like Barbara Stanwyck in The Lady Eve. And I'm like a sucker for all those 30s, 40s,
Oh,
like
yeah.
mobster
Sure.
girl, you know.
All right, sister.
Yeah, all right.
All
You know,
right,
if
yeah.
you need me, you just
Everybody
whistle. You know
was
how to
sister.
whistle, don't you? You pucker up your lips and below. Like it's this
Yeah.
whole like cadence of reading,
Yeah.
double indemnity, like all of that.
Yes.
And so I don't know, it came naturally to me, and I ended up booking the gig, but not for like a year and a half. So a year later, I'm in Los Angeles walking the halls of the Schubert Theater.
Took their time, huh?
Well, because it's old school, they were animating to it, and Michael Eisner's walking down the hall, and he's like, Egan, I just got your audition for Hercules. And I'm like, I made it to Eisner, you know, yay.
Wow, that's a good.
And they
that's not
take
bad.
3 final tapes, and then they test animate to it to see which one actually goes with the look of the character, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, and I ended up getting to do it.
That was you.
So I got to be a bad girl.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's true, huh?
I liked it.
Yeah. I like that. Look at her. She's like, oh, yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
that was
get all my
gas.
frustration with men out on the recording studio. It was good.
Yes.
It was very therapeutic.
Yes. Well, we had a scene in there because I was the centaur.
Yes, you were Nessus.
I was Nessus, the centaur.
That was the very first scene I have ever recorded for voiceover ever.
No kidding.
No, you know, might as well just start with Disney. Like,
Wow.
Since then I've done a lot of voiceover.
That's not a bad intro.
Not bad, not bad. But
Well,
no,
a major motion picture.
yeah, but it was because it had been like 3 or 4 movies since they'd had an actress be both a singing voice and speaking voice. I mean, obviously, like Jodie Benson and
That's
Paige
right.
O'Hara came from Broadway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they just wanted to find somebody, so they went back to Broadway to find them. And that was the very first scene I ever had, and I didn't know what I was doing. And
Oh, I don't know about that.
well, because like I record the scene, and then John and Ron, the directors, are like, "Okay, Susan, that was very good. Can you do it again as if like there's a fish down your top?" And you know, as an actor, you always say, "Yeah, of course, sure, yeah, I can ride a motorcycle."
yeah.
Like, you know, and you're like, "I gotta learn how to ride a motorcycle."
Fish down my top.
Yeah,
Sure.
so yeah.
We just
And
so
that's-
happen to have.
which I'm like, ah. But you know, in that recording booth,
Yeah.
you just make a fool of yourself. Like, you
Oh,
do
yeah.
anything to get that expression out in your voice. And
Yeah.
that scene, you were so great. I mean, talk about range. Could it be farther from Pooh and Tigger?
Oh, no, probably not.
I mean, he was giant, and you know,
Yeah, he was impressive. He was impressed with himself.
he was so good.
And I could have taken Hercules if
What was that voice? I can't remember what it sounds
Oh,
like.
do you know
It
Nessus?
was kind of, well.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Look who it is, the little pink guy.
Yeah.
You know, and
And he's got me in his clasp, and Hercules is trying to
Yeah.
save me, and it was so fun because it was like, oh, Meg's rolling her eyes, but like, meanwhile, like you're just carrying me around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, oh man, that's good stuff.
I'm a damsel. I'm in distress. I can handle it. Have a nice day. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it was so
Yeah.
kooky. Like it was
Yeah.
written by like a screwball comedy. The
Yeah.
script was great.
Yeah, and your hair was great.
The hair-
I can remember thinking,
Yeah, I feel
this
bad.
hair is something's gonna happen with the hair.
I
it's
feel-
gonna get up and leave the room.
Correct. It was a character of its own. And
It
all
was.
these poor girls who cosplay Meg, who come to my
Oh.
table, I'm like,
Oh,
how
gosh.
you doing? I've got a Tylenol for you. Do you have a headache? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I've got a headache. Like, because it's this
How
giant
did you know? Yeah.
hair, and then it's off center. You know, it's easy for a cartoon character, but it's hard for a girl.
Yeah. That. Yeah, it looks a little.
Yeah,
You wanna push her-
it's shaped to look like a Grecian vase, you know, like a
Mm.
Grecian urn, and then her body's like a Greek column,
Mm-hmm.
and then you know, like they Gerald Scarfe was the designer, the guy who animated Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Really?
Yeah, it was such a departure for Disney.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
it's really cool.
He animated Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Yes,
And
Hercules was he was the
Hercules.
designer for Hercules.
wow.
Yeah, so it was a really different kind of look.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, almost, you know, in the way that, like in Aladdin with Robin with the genie, they made it look like a Hirschfeld, you know, like a line drawing.
Yes. Yes. That's
Yeah,
right.
it was a different.
Well,
thing.
I lucked out. I was. I think I'm trying to think of. I'm very close to the first line in Hercules.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely the last line. I'm the. Hey, that was Phil's boy.
Oh my God, that's the best
Yeah, that
line.
was-
It's such a full circle moment. It's everything
Yes.
Phil's ever dreamed of. He's like,
Yes.
Danny DeVito, I just want somebody to say, that's Phil's boy. And then
Yeah,
the
yeah,
movie is like,
yeah.
that's Phil's boy. Like,
Yeah.
I love that script.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's live on stage now in London.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They
Oh,
did
wow,
it
they're
in
doing-
Germany and they did it in London. They did it in Central Park, like a different version of it about 5 years, I think, pre-COVID.
Wow.
And then they tried it again and they keep, sort of shifting, making adjustments to it. And then big successful run in Germany and now it's opening in London.
Wow.
Now.
I'm always amazed that they do that. They turn these big animated,
I know.
bombastic. How do you? I mean,
don't
I
know.
remember seeing Lion King for the first time, going, "Oh, so that's how they're gonna do it." Okay.
Julie Taymor. I mean, so brilliant and just
Yeah.
made it totally their own. It's interesting. So in Beauty and the Beast, it was their first one, and they really felt like audiences would feel betrayed if we didn't look exactly like the cartoon. To the point that they put me in flats, they put Terry the Beast in lifts so that we would have the same silhouette ratio as the movie poster.
Oh, okay.
And then they learned really quickly, you don't need to do any of that. Like audiences are much more sophisticated. Yeah. So, I mean, they had everybody in these prosthetics to look like the movie. And you kind of, our best run through was before we got into costumes in that final rehearsal hall run through. And then we sort of lost a lot of the humanity behind the makeup and the sets and the costumes and stuff. And so they started stripping things away, but it was already designed. They really couldn't do much more than that. Their very next foray was Lion King, where they didn't make anything look like anything like the movie because they finally learned, like, if you capture the love and the joy and the spirit of that film and then do something that's innovative for stage, which is what Julie Taymor's puppetry is.
Boy.
I mean, then it's just Lion King 2.0. Like now it's something
a whole,
even
whole
more.
Another critter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was flabbergasted.
Oh, it was so beautiful,
Yeah.
really moving.
Yeah.
And simple. Like that's the kind of theater that we've been doing since the Grecian times. I mean, just, masks
that's true.
and simple elements that
then
actually are really
kabuki,
impressive.
right? That's-
Correct. Exactly right.
That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Hercules I'm excited about because I was in the studio when those 5 muses were recording all their music. I was waiting to record my song, so I got to just listen to them sing all of their songs first. And I just remember it was the music director, Alan Menken's there, we've got our directors there, our producer Alice Dewitt. Like it's 7 of us listening to these women literally raise the roof. And I thought, we are the only, I mean, the recording will be great, but it's not like being in the room. And
Yeah. I
and
always
now
thought that.
audiences get to be in the room. And when I saw the last incarnation of Hercules on stage, it was in Paper Mill Playhouse outside of New York, and I finally just got to kind of look around. Those muses were amazing, and just what I mean,
Yes.
just. Yeah, bless my soul. I mean, like, whoa, in 5-part harmony. Just like you can't. Nothing is better than that.
Oh, I agree.
So it is something that I think needed to sing live.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I remember having this philosophy about music. Anytime, just watching a cartoon, and a song comes on, Bugs Bunny saying, "Come on, my baby, come on, my," I remember thinking and seeing my kids will stand up and they'll start strutting around the room, like 3-year-olds. Music gets everything. Kicks it up a notch,
Everything.
as they say.
It is. Yeah, it
Don't you
is.
think?
I
I mean-
think the connector for humanity.
Yeah.
There's something about it. It doesn't go through our head. It goes right to our solar plexus. It's a vibration. Our bodies respond to it. And it's
Yeah.
interesting producing these shows for Disney now. Our show, Disney Princess the Concert, has now played 18 countries on, 5 continents, including, I mean, all over. We've played, all over the Middle East. And you sort of think like, oh, it's going to be a conservative crowd. It's going to be like, and it's
Over the Middle
not.
East, yeah, you would think.
We opened in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, and I got to sing on a stage that 2 years prior it was illegal for a woman to be on stage.
Whoa.
So
No
it was
kidding.
amazing. And we're doing this
Wow.
Disney Princess the Concert about female characters defining their own destinies. Like it was really amazing.
That was
And guess what?
groundbreaking.
All those kids are dressed as Elsa singing Let It Go. Same in all throughout Asia, same all throughout Brazil, South America. Like we've been all over, and you sort of realize it's a small world after all. But truthfully, there is something about music, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But then also Disney music, which is that childhood nostalgia thing that we all have in common. that is a common denominator. I think it's the key to world peace.
I agree. Yeah.
I think it's one of the biggest things that set us apart from animals, right? There's no animals that have rhythm or
the moment we could beat on a drum. It all started with that. And these vocal cords that can stretch and do things.
Thank
So
God.
it's pretty incredible. And we started out talking before everything was rolling about the Sherman Brothers, and just the very idea of "It's a Small World After All." Everybody in every single country knows that song. Isn't that amazing? That there is something that everybody knows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And unfortunately, it's a small world.
If they had to choose which song, they probably wouldn't have chosen that one to be the one, but it is the one.
No, I agree. And they were, and I'm happy to say, proud to say that they were friends of mine. I've worked with them dozens of times over the year, both of them, and they were like polar opposites, digging around. Well, we did 27 films. We did 28. No, wait, 27.
Yeah,
27. I told you, 27.
The
the
that's
two of them,
Robert,
they go
and
back.
the other one was Richard. Yeah,
Yes,
correct. Yeah,
yes,
opposites.
they were both back and forth, and I just remember one time. I'll just be brief with this story. And I said, "Oh, by the way, you guys," because I'd got to know them over the years. I found the cure for "It's a Small World," and Robert goes, "He found the cure for "It's a Small." It needed a cure." And I said, "Pretty much, yeah." And he goes, "Oh, please tell me, what is the cure?" And I said, "Well, I've given this a lot of thought, and you really can't just not forget it. You have to drive it out. You have to get something, you have to purge it with another song. And so, and it can't have a strong hook because then you're stuck with that song. So I figured it out, and it's the Beatles. The Beatles are the cure for the Sherman Brothers. Please, I must hear more, And I said, well, it's The Long and Winding Road. The long and winding, because, the long and winding road, blah, blah, that leads to your door. If you get that far, you're purged. See, you can't even think of that song that we were talking about. He goes, I thought it was It's a Small World After All. I go, okay, well, yeah. Yes, it was It's a Small World After All. But now, long and winding road, he goes, I can still remember it. I said, I know, okay. Okay, well, it doesn't work on you, but you wrote it so that you don't count.
Yeah, it's such an earworm, right?
Oh, an earworm, yes.
Yeah.
And usually you're looking for that.
You are. I mean, that's a successful songwriter.
That's a successful
That's what everybody's trying to create. And they did it over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Supercalifragilistic. I mean, like, how do you...
Yeah. 14 syllables, by the way.
Jiminy. I mean, yeah. Docious aliexpiastifragicalirupus.
And yes, I have.
Ah.
Oh. Indubitably.
Indubitably.
See?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, are we
See,
good?
these things like...
Come on, my baby, come on. Turn to Michigan J. Frog here in a second.
Totally.
Well, we got completely off. So what the hell were we talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it was pretty good.
Do you still perform to this day, yeah?
I do, yeah. I still perform maybe in 20% of the things that I'm producing. Every so often I jump on. Like
That's
with
pretty
80s, 90s, like I'll jump on and sing Meg's song.
Sure.
Yeah.
She's a 90s gal.
And you did Beauty and the Beast again not too long ago, right?
Oh gosh, that you remind me of that. Okay, so
well, wait a minute.
so I joked about this. So
How
this
bad could that be?
It was really bad. So my friend Patrick.
That was a rhetorical question.
It was bad. Patrick Cassidy is a friend, and he was running a theater up.
Patrick Cassidy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine too.
Yeah, he lives in Nashville now. We both live in Nashville.
Yes, that's right.
But he was running.
I used to live in his house.
Oh my gosh!
I rented his house for a while.
See, it is a small world, Jim.
It is after all.
So he was running 5-star theater. They were doing Beauty and the Beast. He called me up. Hey, do you want to do Beauty and the Beast? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love to play Mrs. Potts. Like I'm, 48. Let's play Mrs. Potts. He's like, no, I want you to play Belle. I'm like, okay, I was literally 24 when I played Belle. I'm now 48. But then my friend Ben, who's my music director, and my husband's like, I never got to see you play Beauty and the Beast. And my daughters had never seen it. I just thought, well, I mean, It was awful. I should not have done it. But then I joke, I'm going to do it again at 72. Just every 24 years, I'm going to play Belle in the return at the Actors Fund Home. It'll be you and me.
It'll be fabulous.
It'll be amazing.
How many shows did you do?
We did, I don't know, like 2 weekends of shows. It wasn't a ton, but the cast was fantastic. Everybody was really sweet, and it was a lot of fun to sort of revisit. I can't look at pictures of it; they horrify me. But but it was a lot of fun, and it was sweet that Patrick, created that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think of I'm like, well, if Kathy Rigby can go back and be Peter Pan one more time, okay.
Oh, that's true, huh?
Yeah, I mean, she's did it under her 60s, So did Mary Martin, frankly. So, anyway.
So did who?
But Mary Martin, the original Peter Pan.
Oh.
But
I remember that one.
I don't think I was doing anybody any favors to do that. I just think my music director, who was 7 the first time I did it, wanted to see it again. He's like, if you don't do it, I will stop working with you. I'm like, all right. So Ben talked me into doing it. Yeah.
So he had you over a barrel.
He did.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Well, that was a sweet barrel to be over. We're all glad you're
fun. You're sweet.
you barreled through.
I don't get to do plays much anymore. Our friend Jodie Benson's doing a lot of plays again now that she's.
Is she?
Yeah, now that she's an empty nester, and she just did a production of Gypsy. She just did a production of Hello Dolly. I got to see. She was amazing.
And this is down in Atlanta,
she did those in Florida, actually.
Florida?
One was in Florida. I can't remember where the other one was. Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's great. She's
amazing.
A doll. Yeah. I mean,
she's the literal best.
Yeah, I remember years ago we were doing. I think it was Little Mermaid 3 or something, and we were doing publicity, and we were out on what's the island out in the middle?
Catalina.
Catalina, yeah. There we go. And they had it at the old theater. They had the
Yes, I remember that old place.
It was so cool. Were you there?
I was not at that. No, at the premiere. Okay. No, but that's pretty cool. I love that theater.
Oh yeah, it was really cool. And Jodie walked out on stage, and of course you could hear a pin drop, and you hear this one little 3-year-old, "Daddy, that's Ariel," and thinking she's quiet, and everybody just clapped.
The best.
And Jodie walked over to, "Yes, my dear. It is Ariel." And I look just the same. It was 20 years difference.
Oh no, she's perfect at that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
She is the first lady of the Disney princesses. Like I do a bunch of stuff with all the princesses, but we all surround Jodie, and she's so excellent at it. And is like a lovely sister to all of us. But yeah, she was in our Bowl show last year. And, there were a lot of epic moments in that show, because there's a lot of epic moments in the 80s, 90s movies.
That's for sure.
But there was, 18,000 people, and you could have heard a pin drop when Jodie walked on stage. Wow. And just people getting to hear her sing that song. There is no topping it. Mm-hmm. And because I write the show, I never follow it. I never have to follow Jodie.
Oh,
I won't follow Jodie.
Oh, you mean
I
you
want
don't have to
3 or 4 numbers in between Jodie's number and my number. Yeah. Or I'll do my number before Jodie does her number, because you can't top Jodie's number.
Yeah, that's funny. What did she sing?
She sang Part of Your World. Yeah. But then she and I actually did a duet of When She Loved Me from Toy Story 2, which is a tearjerker tune. Mm-hmm. It's a good song.
That is. Yeah. Oh man, that
we got to get you on stage.
Yeah, I can't make it through that song. That's a tough one. I know. I'm a sucker for those songs. I can't, Oh man.
So many of those Pixar moments are like it's that one and the one from Up when that whole montage of like when he met his wife when they were kids, and that whole thing for the first 20 minutes. Like
gets me. I'm goosebumping. That goosebumps me. Oh yeah, and good old cantankerous Ed.
I know.
Ed Asner. Did you ever work with Ed?
I did. An episode of Party of Five.
Oh, wow.
And he played their grandfather, and I played a daughter of his that nobody knew about, and I had a scene with him. I just thought, like, oh my gosh. I mean,
a daughter of his that nobody knew about. Oh, Ed, you rascal, you.
I know.
Oh, boy. Yeah, he was a good old buddy of mine.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I got to work with him any number of times. And he was just as and he wasn't playing a character when he was cantankerous. He was just cantankerous. That was just him.
That's great.
Yeah.
He made a whole career. He just got to be himself.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, everything. Oh, for Christ's sake.
I mean, the Mary Tyler Moore Show. I idolize the Mary Tyler Moore Show. And I mean.
Oh yeah. Well, what's not to love? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a classic sitcom. Is that a goal of yours as well? Are you going to nail down a?
No, I think the sitcom is gone. I did a sitcom for 2 years, actually, in between a couple Broadway shows, which it didn't, fly very far, but it got me a house.
Oh, that ain't bad.
So I used to joke,
called?
I do TV to support my theater habit,
Oh, good for you.
It was called Nikki. It was on the WB. It starred Nikki Cox, and we played Vegas showgirls. Her husband was a wrestler, so obviously our demographic was like 18 to 34-year-old men. Unfortunately, we were on the WB where they wanted us to appeal to like 13 to 15-year-old girls.
Whoops.
But our showrunner was this great guy who had the Drew Carey Show and had Norm's show, and we really should have been like, coupled with one of those. But it was a lot of fun. It's like doing summer stock. It's a 30-minute play every week, and you rehearse it and then you do it in front of an audience. And I was just a theater person, so like the camera guys loved me because I never needed a second take, because I just like, you don't get a second take.
Yeah, that's
like,
right. That's right.
Well, we get to do it again. I can fix that. Like I just usually in theater, you just the set falls down. And you're like, nice castle,
Yeah.
You don't really get to stop and start again.
Nice castle.
Yeah. But it was
That's
really
true, huh? That's a
fun.
luxury.
Yeah, and I recorded on the Drew Carey Show for a while, and I did a couple other
you
TV
played two
shows
characters on the Drew Carey Show,
Two different
Susan and Suzanne.
Yeah, so Bruce Hellman, who's the showrunner, just really liked me, and he's like, I'm going to bring you on the Drew Carey Show again. But he would just write a different character. He's like, nobody's paying attention. I'm like, all right, okay, yeah. So he would let me. So I was doing that when I was doing the other
It's only a huge TV show. No one's watching. No,
it was fun. It was fun.
Oh,
it was
that's
great.
funny. Is that if you had to do one thing, like one medium going forward, would you sing?
I don't think I could leave music. Yeah. I feel just really lucky. I don't have a huge career, but I've worked consistently and I've gotten to do all kinds of things.
That means you do have a huge career if you work consistently.
I mean, right. But yeah, I mean, from theater to voiceover, where I got to play characters that I would never get to play in real life, because you can look like anything. I could play a puppy dog. I can play a giant alien. I can play,
Right.
And so that's always really fun. Also, you wear a jeans and t-shirt and no makeup and show up to work. Like that's a glory day for me. I love it. So I love voiceover. But I love music, and I love live music and singing with a symphony. Nothing can beat 70 musicians,
Yeah.
and the Hollywood Bowl. But I have to say,
true.
I really, really, really love being behind the scenes. I love creating the work and getting to call somebody up and say, you have a job, and come sing with us. And I love that.
Yeah. Well, it's it's the stuff that I always say, things I would do for free if you can get them to pay you.
I know.
That's what it's all about, I think.
I feel really lucky. And then the fact that I used to want to be a really serious actress. I remember when I was doing probably that sitcom here, I was working with a coach, an acting coach, and they're like, well, what do you want to do? I go, I want to be doing like the independent films that like Jennifer Jason Leigh is doing, and I want to be like taken seriously. And she's like, okay, do me a favor.
Well, that's serious stuff.
Go to somebody who's not in the industry and ask them what they like about what you do. And I was volunteering at a school, and I went to one of the administrative assistants who's not one of the creatives. She's, part of the faculty. And I said, Sean, hey, my acting coach has asked me to ask somebody who's not in the industry, like, what is it that you like about what I get to do? She's like, oh my gosh, Susan, oh my gosh, what I love about what you get to do is you get to make everybody happy. Like everything you do is so joyful. And I went back to my coach. She's like, Susan, just embrace it. Like, don't fight that.
That's not bad.
Like, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
And the moment I stopped going, well, like, all right, I'm going to be silly. I'm going to be ridiculous. I'm going to sing silly songs for a living. Like, and people really do. Like the kinds of things we create in animation and with the live concerts they are this sort of balm. You don't know what people are going through in their lives. Yeah. And people have reached out, like, especially during COVID, like, oh, I've just been listening to this album and I just wanted to write to you, like, this song has really gotten me through these things. And you're like, you have no idea who you get to touch.
Yeah.
And how it impacts.
So true.
So it's really,
I
feel like
Yeah.
We won
It's a blessing.
the lucky club. Like we are.
Yeah. Well, you end up touching people that you'll never see because I've said it a million times.
Right.
We're sitting in a room alone. Usually 95% of the time you're alone, and you're just voicing this. You're singing. You're doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And then it goes out to the world, and you still have it, and nobody's
No idea.
still got. You don't get any feedback. You don't get any. That is why I enjoy going to some of the Comic Cons and because you'll see, and I've been very blessed, with between Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and different ones, Ray, Princess and the Frog, they have touched people in very deep ways. And a lot of times, the husband will be standing there and his wife will be, and she's just a puddle. And I go, oh, hi, hey, what are you going to do? She goes, she's really excited to meet you.
It's so great.
She's really a big Winnie the Pooh fan over here, I can tell you.
It never gets old.
And I
never take that for granted. Like
no, you never take it for granted. That's exactly right. You can't.
I get some great wives coming to me like, he's back there, but he's always really loved Meg. Like, would you say hi?
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, okay. I like a guy who likes a tough girl.
And I like and you were Meg there for a second. I could see the hair. The hair was way out there. You were almost.
She's got major. I hope she's a good chiropractor.
Yeah. She's. Yeah. Oh God, that's just you really like. All
right.
And
so funny. My friends, I do all this live theater that's like physically actually me. And but when my friends saw Hercules, they're like, Susan, it's the first thing we actually recognize you in. They're like, it doesn't look anything like you, but that's my friend Susan. I'm like, even the just goofy stuff of like, all that stuff because they capture, they film you while you're doing it. I'm like, but then they exaggerate it. Ken Duncan was the animator. I'm like, oh my God, he has such a great sense of humor. Like he just nailed like the, like all the eye rolls and all the.
Yeah.
I'm blown away by animators.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Me too. Well, I did Ray and Princess and the Frog and Ray.
My favorite.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. The women love a man with a big back poach.
So my thing is like, where did you get this accent? Like it's your Creole accent, but it's what is this?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I moved to New Orleans right out of high school, and I lived there for a long time. I had a house, sold it, I don't know, maybe 12 years ago, in Algiers Point. Anyway, I was a deckhand on a riverboat I always wanted to do that.
Amazing.
Yeah, well.
But you have this firsthand knowledge of
very
Ray
much.
was in you. You didn't have to go out and figure out that accent.
No, I mean I was on boats where I was the only one for whom English was their first language. Wow. They were born in Louisiana.
Yeah.
But not America. They were born in that letter head there from them Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, he was like that. He go out there, you get your ball battery, and you get your ass back here, ball. I'm trying to tell you. And I said, I'm so sorry. What did you say? and that is a character named Leatherhead, just for the record.
Yeah.
His real name is Léonce Leblanc. He was from Napoleonville. And maybe his grandkids are watching this. I always say this, I've quoted him a few times. And Leatherhead from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is really just that guy.
Just him. Yeah.
Yeah. I've done that with my Uncle Sam a couple of times too. God rest his soul. And you steal these little things from here and there, and the Cajun accent. A lot of people think you talk like Gomer Pyle. No, not even a little. But so Ray, he just come out from down that bayou like that. Yeah, you see me. Ooh, it was a good time. Yeah. And for some reason or another, the lot of Cajun guys. Oh, let me tell you what I'm gonna do with you.
Right up in that falsetto. Yeah, it's like all up there.
Where the hell did that come from? Because this guy weighs 400 pounds. And so
what's amazing about what you do is you have this pocket, this corner for every single one of your characters, and you can literally flip a switch and jump into them.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you have something
I
similar.
don't have as many as you've got.
Well,
And then sometimes I'll do things where like, and I'll have this whole idea of what I want to do. And they're like, can you just sound like Meg? I'm like, no, all right. Okay.
and you look like you're there. You went, can you sound like
All right.
Yeah. You fall right
That's
into it
because Meg is
instantly.
actually where my voice sits. Like that's,
Sure.
I'm like, all that. First thing I taught my kids was sarcasm,
Yes.
Could your room be any messier? And like at 2 and 3, they're like, you want it to be, yes, I want it to be messier. Could you take longer too? And then like around 4 or 5, they're like, you're being sarcastic.
that's
My job
sarcasm.
here is done. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, God.
Terrible parenting.
Yeah. Yeah, but interesting kids.
They are interesting kids.
They're
Yeah,
cool
I
kids
have
now.
interesting kids.
Oh, that's funny. Are they in any danger of following in your footsteps?
No, they have no desire. No, in fact, there was no musical theater until Hamilton came out. Then Mom, there's this musical called. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, I've heard
I
of
know
it.
the people in it. I know. They're like, you know those. I'm like, yes, I know this show. Yeah. But they also are amazing and supportive and love all those perks of going to the parks and jumping on the cruise ship and all that good stuff. So they're
That's not
great.
bad. That's not bad. Yeah, you can probably.
And they have lots of friends who do plays. But as my sister, as my daughter Nina says, and her sister are like, oh, Mom, we don't hang out with the thespians. They're so weird. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's literally me.
Yeah. I'm
but we'll
Queen
go see
Weirdo.
the plays. Like literally, that's who gave birth to you. So yeah, but
You should do voices.
They keep me in my place. It's humbling.
Yeah.
In a really good way.
And a tumbling?
It's a humbly tumbly.
Oh.
It's humbling. It's parenthood is a really good ego check.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, I've had that a few times with my kids over the years. My my career was first going, it was I was Darkwing Duck and Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, and my oldest daughter would have a friend come over to the house for the first time. And this is my dad. And don't do any voices. Please don't do any voices. And I go, what? But and their friends sitting there going,
I know, right?
they're waiting. And I'm like, oh bother. Oh, you sound just like him. And you just have to feed the beast.
It's great.
A little bit.
Listen, that's part of the joy of parenting. It's
Yeah,
a little
embarrass your
embarrassing.
kids.
Yeah. My husband
Yeah.
always wanted to drive up to the school, roll down the window, and say, Nina, is that the boy you like? Is it that one?
Oh, that's-
that's just terrible. If she doesn't clean her room, he's like, I know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm like, oh gosh.
That's
no.
pain.